Hi everyone, Tori here. Today I'm sharing a Project Life process video with you called Hello January. And this is just, I'm going to be doing 3 pages in my Project Life for January. And this is actually not January this year, it's January last year, so January 2014. So I started by printing off all the photos for January that I wanted to use, and I used my Canon selfie. So that's why you're seeing all the different sizes and shapes. Well, I guess they're not really shapes. They're just rectangles or squares. But anyways, so I printed them all off, and then what you just saw me do was sorting them. And I was trying to sort them into 3 piles because I knew that I was going to do 3 pages for January. And then I just sort of sorted them into different events. The first pile is just random January photos. The second pile is like photos with my sister because we were getting ready for her to leave for Kenya because she was going to be gone for a year and a half. And then the third pile is just other moments with her. So I'm going to be scrapbooking these in 3 different parts, but you'll see it all together in this video. Sorry, I just realized I said my sister was going to be gone for a year and a half, but she's actually going to be gone for 2.5 years. So anyways, that's sort of irrelevant to what I'm doing. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a permanent marker and write the date on the back of all the photos. And I like to just keep track of when the photos are taken because I really like stamping the date in my Project Life process. And I wanted to know what the date the photos were taken so that I could stamp those throughout the layout. So a couple other housekeeping, I guess, things while I'm doing this. Just in case you were wondering, I'm going to be using Design Aid Page Protector now, and the other page protector I'm using later is also Design Aid, just in case I forget to mention it when I get there. And if I sound tired, it's because I am. It's almost 2 in the morning, which is ridiculous, but I'm a night person, and I just wanted to get this done, and I don't know, it's also quiet in the house. So I begin by sort of arranging the photos where I want them across the spread. I'm only really using 3 on this, so I wanted to arrange them and make sure I spread them out. And then I'm just going through the Studio Calico Far Far Away Project Life cards that came in this month's kit and trying to decide how I want to use them and which ones I want to use. I did grab that animal print for the top right hand corner, but I don't end up using that. I love that card. I just can't figure out how to fit it into my Project Life. So I don't know, stay tuned, I guess. I don't know, I'll try to find a way to use it. So just as I'm sort of playing with these different cards and pulling them out, I'll just let you know about the photos. The top one is a selfie that I took of myself. Last year, as I was looking back at my photos, I realized that I don't really have that many photos of myself. So in 2014, I really tried to take a lot more selfies or a lot more photos of myself. And so I think I probably took at least one a month, usually like a couple a month, just because I really want to include myself in my albums. And then the other photos, there's a shot of the weather app that I used on my phone where it's -degrees Celsius. And if you're a US friend, that's -2 Fahrenheit. And then the bottom left-hand corner has a long photo that I took of the sunset one day just looking outside my bedroom window. And it just looks so pretty. I really wanted to use that. And now what I'm doing is just trying to find some other cards that I can use. And if you're wondering about that box, I actually store my Project Life cards in old Studio Calico Project Life boxes. And I store them by color. So the box you're seeing right now is my black, white, and brown box, which I guess is not really super colorful, but I just store them in there and then I put washi tape on the side so that I know what color is in that box. And then what I'm doing for that bottom photo is that was actually a cityscape that was on that card, and it says it was one of those days, but I didn't know what city that was and I couldn't really see myself using it, but I felt like my own photo of the sunset from outside my window also really worked well on that. card, and it fit with that. It was one of those days, and so I just decided to just cover up the cityscape and use my own photo. At Christmas, I received a selfie from my parents, a selfie photo printer from my parents, which I was super excited about. But one thing I'm noticing is that it prints slightly smaller than the correct size, 4x6 or 3x4 or whatever. So what I did with that bottom card was I just trimmed a little bit off each side, and then I'm matting that on a black and white striped paper just to add a little bit more black, because I am using a black Project Life card in the top right hand corner, and then also to mat the selfie of myself and that cute adorable cat card. Now, if you watched my unboxing video, you probably heard me say that I don't really like cats that much or don't have a cat. And so I was wondering how to use that card. But when I looked at that photo of myself and I looked at the cute expression on the cat's face, it actually like sort of looked the same to me, and I thought it just looked really pretty with this page. And if you can sort of tell from my color scheme here, I've used black and I'm using some pinks, as in that hello card at the bottom is pink, and then there's some pink in the fly away card. And then I also cut up that pattern paper from the card kit that I just love so much, that pink and gray triangle card. And so I feel like it works well to use one or two colors on a layout. And I just like pink, which you've probably heard in my other process videos that pink is my favorite color. So it gets used a lot on this layout. And I'm just adhering some of those photos down to mat them on some black Project Life cards, or put them together. I really like to incorporate two 3x4 photos in a 4x6 slot and put them on top of one card. I don't know what it is. I mean, I guess I could just grab a different design page protector and I would have that there, but I don't know, it works well. And here you're seeing me fighting with my Becky Higgins corner rounder, which just, oh, that thing drives me crazy. It gets stuck all the time, and I really just need to throw it out and get a new one, or I don't know, it just gets stuck all the time and it drives me crazy, and then I rip photos and oh man. Anyways, I'll just ignore that for the photo. And also, I'm sorry about the fact that the computer's in the screen. I didn't realize it was there. And I think later in the video I realized, and I move it over, so hopefully it's not bothering you that much. I'll try to do better next time, I promise. One thing that I really like to do in my project life is just round all the corners. The Studio Calico cards come with rounded corners, and so do the Becky Higgins core kits, which I have a couple of those. So I like just rounding all of them. Now, another thing I really like doing in Project Life is cutting up cards and layering them on top of each other. And this card that I'm just cutting up now, I think it comes from the Midnight collection, and it just says this week, and it had a little banner flag or something, and I just cut it and then I adhered it down, and I'm just grabbing my stapler just to staple that in place. And the staple is really just more for the effect or the look, not really to adhere, because I also adhered it with some tape. And what you're seeing now is I just grabbed some Wink of Stella and added that to that flyaway card, and I just love that Wink of Stella pen. Just the shine and shimmer that it adds to cards is so pretty. And I wanted to also find some other place on the layout to add it, so I also added it to the cat's nose, which you can't see really well, but when you're looking at the page it just adds a little fleck of sparkles, and it just looks so cute to me. And I just love sparkles. I'm like covered in sparkles like 95% of the time. And then I'm adding January 2014 to this hello card. And once I'm done that, I'm going to begin by embellishing this page. Now, I know a lot of people that I watch process videos of who do Project Life, they work on both pages sort of at the same time and do both. But I just didn't have a lot of space on my desk because my desk is really narrow, and I like to just focus on one thing at a time. I might go back and add something afterwards, but I just focus on one page and get that, and then I try to pick colors from that page to incorporate on the next page. So to embellish this page, I've added some of those pink hearts that came in one of the Studio Calico January kits, and I just love those. I need like a quadrillion more of those. They're just so pretty. I added one on the seam between the Project Life card and the photo at the bottom, and then one on the Project Life card and the photo at the top too. I love adding embellishments on that line or that seam between two things. I just think it sort of helps the two things look like they go together. Now, I have really struggled using these blue aqua chipboard symbol shapes, like they're asterisks and number signs and @ signs and things. I don't know, I don't really like those signs very much, but I like to use up my kits. So when I get a kit from Studio Calico, because I've paid for it, I like to use everything in the kit or try to use as much as I can. So I'm forcing myself to use it, and I actually do like the way that it turned out on this layout. So I use a number sign at the top beside this week, and then at the bottom, just above that heart, I added an arrow. And I'm also adding some labels to the page. I layered one with a little camera on the bottom. It was one of those days card, and then I'm layering one with a star on the Stouffville. That's where I'm from. Minus 19 degrees weather app thing, and I just wrote on there, "Oh, Canada," because sometimes it gets so stinking cold here, and I often just say out loud, like, "Oh, Canada," like, why do people live here? And I know I'm here, but really, I mean, it's a great place to be from, but it's also really cold. I mean, really cold. And minus 19 is not even as cold as it gets. So again, I said that's like -2 Fahrenheit, but it gets a lot colder than that too. And I'm not even in the coldest part of Canada. Like, there are people who live in, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. They live in weather where it's like -30 or -40, like for 6 months, 8 months of the year. It's ridiculous. Well, it is a nice place, and it does get warm sometimes, so it's not always that cold. But anyways, I'll just get back to the layout here. I added that wood veneer January at the top. I feel like it fits well with this page and with the beginning of my January in my project life. And then I've grabbed this snowflake punch. I think it's from Martha Stewart. I can't remember. And I punched out 3 white snowflakes, and I'm just trying to figure out where to add those. And I end up adding them on the Hello January um, Project Life thing. And I think it works well because if you can't see it in here, but the weather app says snow showers, and it did snow that day. And I added them with my hot glue gun, and you'll notice I sort of like put the glue on and then I shook it, and that the reason was is because I was trying to let the glue like cool down a little bit because I wanted the snowflakes to pop off the page and just add dimension. And I guess I could have used pop dots, but a hot glue gun and hot glue sticks are a lot cheaper than pop dots, and it gives sort of the same effect here. And I'm gonna just finish off this page with some chipboard words that came in the Studio Calico, I think Project Life kit this month, and they're from Studio Calico and Hello Forever, I believe. And I add 2 on the bottom photo that say "Come Away." I don't know why I put that, but it was one of those days. Come away, I guess, because it's cold and we should, I don't know. Okay, sometimes there's not always a thought process behind something. I just add it because I like it. And then I'm doing a process video and I'm trying to explain it, and I'm sorry if that makes no sense at all. Sorry. Okay, now that I'm looking at it, it made a little sense while I was doing it. That card said "fly away," and then I put "come away," which I felt like fit together. And then I also add a couple to the top on the seam between the selfie of myself and the cat picture, and they say "as if." I plan on adding some rub-ons in a few minutes, so it fits with the rub-ons that I'm adding. And I'm just digging through that little bag to see if there's any other words I want to use. That bag is a little frustrating, all those little things, and I end up dumping them out too. But I like those little chipboard elements, and they look really cute on Project Life. They fit, they're the perfect size. Once I'm done with that, I'm just going to see if there's anything else that I want to add. I still need to add my journaling, and then I do add some rub-ons as well. And I love embellishing my pages. When you watch my process videos, you'll probably see that I love adding lots of embellishments. and lots of things. This one is actually pretty simple for me. I mean, there is embellishments on here, but it's not as much as I would normally do. And now I'm just going to add my journaling, and I use a white Uniball gel pen, and that white Uniball gel pen is amazing. It works so well. And my journaling is just about how cold it is and how it really feels like -35, not like -19. And that gel pen is just so nice. It's like butter. I don't know. It just goes on so smoothly. And I was feeling like the page was just missing something, so I wanted to add one more thing or something else. And so I grabbed some new rub-ons that I had just purchased from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm actually going to speed this up because I took a really long time. But basically, I use a rub-on above the little cat's head that says no ordinary moments. And now those as if work perfectly, right? Like there's no ordinary moments. Well, as if there are. There's totally ordinary moments in my life, like just boring moments that just need to be documented. And then I also add another rub-on just above the sunset that says dreamy, and it fit well because it was dreamy. Okay, now I'm going to get started on the second page. And this page also has 3 photos. It has a photo of my sister and my dad making funny faces. It has a photo of my sister's prayer letter or newsletter that she put out, like letting people know that she was going to Kenya for 2.5 years. And then there's also a photo of my mom and sister snuggling in bed. Now, please don't tell them that I took this photo or that I put it on the internet for everybody to see, because they would be so mad at me. But I just don't look in that bottom corner. Okay, and then that totally made everybody look there. So, okay, I'm just gonna stop talking. Maybe I should just start playing music and let you watch this. I'll just explain what I'm doing and move on. So I'm pulling out Project Life cards to use on this layout. First, I started with the ones that came in the kit, and I grabbed that dog card at the top left-hand corner with the yellow background, just because it's the same design as the cat that's on the other side of this page, and I thought that they would look good together. The dog on one side and the cat on the other. And this is about the point where I decide that I want this side of the page to be yellow mostly. I'll incorporate some of the pinks from the left-hand page that you saw earlier. And I will use black because that will sort of tie the 2 pages together, but then I'm going to be focusing on some yellow embellishments here. And I'm just digging through the cards and picking out which black ones I want to use to fill up the empty spaces and how I want to use them. And I'm going to just speed it up here because this video is getting really long. So I started by using this card that said, "Live your life, be you bravely." I don't know where that card comes from, but I cut out the circle and I adhere that to a black page, and I just pop that up with some pop dots. And I feel like that card works perfectly with my sister just about heading out for Kenya. And then I'm going to round all my corners and sort of get the rest of my photos going here. Hopefully this isn't moving too fast. And once I'm done that, I'm going to sort of start going and adhering them, and then I'll embellish the page. And in that top left-hand photo corner where there's the photo of my sister and then the dog, it sort of matches on the other page where I did the same thing, where I adhered a 3x4 photo with that animal card, and it's the same kind of thing. So I feel like it ties one element from one page into an element from the other page. And I'm also doing some paper cutting up here of different Project Life cards and layering things. One card said good times, and then the other card had that compass, and I wanted the compass and the good times to be on the same card. So that's why I just sort of put them together. And some of the embellishments I'm going to be using are from this crepe paper ephemera pack. And I just pulled out some of the black and white words because I thought that they would work really well on this page. One of them says at the top, "Little Moments," and I put that above the dog's head. And I also took 2 circles from that ephemera pack and sort of layered them up and stapled them to the top of that card. And I like the idea how the little moments above the dog's head matches the no ordinary moments that I had put above the cat's head. I like that little top of that space, and then I like how there's all that white space on the card as well. I'm also adding you and me on top of that Project Life card that has a whole bunch of ampersands in a circle. And I've also used the word together above the photo of my mom and my sister in the bottom right hand corner. On the other page, I use those pink hearts on the seams of photos, so like on the line between a photo and a Project Life card, and I've done that same thing here. Um, it ties the two pages together, which I really like, but it also sort of ties those Project Life cards and the photos together, like I mentioned earlier. And then I want to bring some of the elements from the other page as well, and I had used those blue aqua chipboard pieces on the other page, so I used a couple here. And now I'm adhering some of those word phrases. On that bottom Project Life card says, all that I need today is, and then there's a blank space. And probably if you've watched my unboxing video, you would have seen that I just thought it said you. Like it was just, I read, all that I need today is you, and I just said that. Then I thought, oh, I'm just going to write that there. And then the word, chipboard word that I had put underneath it says more. So all that I need today is you, more. And I'm going to use my date stamp on that currents card that I used, and the date for these photos is January 3rd, and I wanted to stamp it just once, but I messed it up, so that means that I'm going to stamp it 2 more times, and it's sort of messy, but it works well. On the other page, whenever I use the date stamp, I stamped it 3 times, so it's okay. And once I'm done that, what am I doing here? I'll probably begin adding my journaling. Oh, nope. I grabbed my Wink of Stella glitter pen and I added that to the dog's nose. And then I also used it on top of that vellum, those vellum words that said you and me, and it just brings some sparkle. And now I'm going to be adding my journaling, and I'm going to journal on that Good Times page and then also on the Currents page. So I'll just read to you what it says. In January, all we wanted to do was spend time with Courtney. It's crazy to think she's leaving soon for 2.5 years. We cuddle and huggle and make silly faces. I love her so much, and I'm going to miss her like crazy. Man, is she brave and strong. And once I'm done that, I'm going to add some journaling to the currents page where I circled loving, thinking, needing, and wishing, and then I added what I am loving, thinking, needing, and wishing. So I'm loving Courtney, needing hugs, wishing we had more time, and thinking how proud I am of her. And I was going to show you the third page, but this video is getting long, so I think I'm going to stop it there for today and just show you the 2-page spread with in my January Project Life, and maybe I'll come back and show you another page at another time. So thanks everyone for joining. Thank you for commenting, and liking, and subscribing. It really means a lot to me. In the last couple weeks, I've gotten so many new subscriptions, and that just, it just warms my heart. Anyways, I hope you have a lovely day.